welcome to another episode of Pony 411. This is episode 65 for the week of August 3rd. I'm co-host Alca7raz, and with me yet again is Nemesis.
You can retire now.
Yes, we're retirement age.
See you, suckers.
Yep, we're out. See ya. Good night. No, seriously,
You
we do
stop
got another
playing your
episode.
music so loud.
Get off my lawn!
Exactly.
But yeah, we got another episode. We scrounged some up to talk about.
Yeah, scrounge is right.
Scrounged it. Yeah. Yeah, I think we got something to talk about, so. But first up, like always, the news. And also, like always, you should follow along.
Yes.
You go to our show notes. You get those at pony411.libsyn.com/show notes. Go there, click the latest one or whichever one you're listening to, which should be this one.
Yes.
And follow along. So let's get started. In convention news, Buck has announced a game room, much more merchandise than last year, and a cosplay contest for this year's convention. They also have a pretty neat animation to go along with all that too.
It was mildly entertaining.
It was pretty entertaining. I liked it. So go check that out. Andrea Libman, Peter New, and Sam Vincent, which is the voice actor for Flim of Flim and Flam, will be attending the Ponyville Cider Fest in Milwaukee this year.
Cider,
Which is
perfect.
yeah, perfect for Peter New and Sam Vincent.
And Andrea Libman.
And yeah, well, she's there in everyone, so. But
Steals all Dash's cider.
yeah. Anyway, continuing on. Andrew Francis, Sam Vincent, and Richard Ian Cox, which is the voice of Snips or Snails, one of the two, I forgot which.
I can't remember either.
Will be attending BronyCon this year, and will be holding a panel on a film that they're going to be working on. So that's neat.
Yeah, it's Snails.
It's Snails? Yeah. And last convention news, BronyCon, which has just finished shortly before recording this.
Yes. Literally hours ago.
Literally hours before we recorded this, it just finished up. BronyCon has announced their next year's convention will be August 7th through 9th back in Baltimore. Or Baltimore, if you want to use that.
Boo.
So yeah. Moving on. Super Smash Pony's intro video shown at BronyCon is now up on video on YouTube.
It's a nice little trailer.
Yeah. It's pretty neat.
Although I think the animations are a little weird right now.
A little bit wonky, but it's
You need to fix
still
that.
in
Alpha, I guess.
alpha. So yeah.
It's not yet. They had winter, which last time they said January, so it's like, are they now pushing back to February now?
Yeah.
I don't know.
We'll see. On to merchandise. New designs for the Rainbow Dash and Twilight blind bag figures have shown up on Taobao. It's a little bit different than what we've already seen. It was already out there.
Yeah.
So, 8 of the Breezy blind bags, as well as the Wave 11 Cloud Chaser / Thunder Lane, they messed up the name on that, blind bag figures have also shown up on Taobao.
Yes.
So,
That's it for the Taobao block, I guess, this week. Not as much as last week.
not as much as last week, but yeah. A prototype version of the Pony Mania Fluttershy brushable, which is the goth figure, has shown up on eBay. Slightly different than what actually got released. A little bit interesting to go look at it.
Prototype?
Yeah, prototype.
Maybe revision for down the line. Who knows?
A ponified version of Monopoly Junior is starting to appear in stores.
Yeah, we talked about this a while ago, but yeah.
It's starting
I
to
guess
show up
it's now out.
Yep.
Which is the faster, remember, it's the faster, simpler version of Monopoly, so which would you rather play?
A version that's for adults or a version that can actually be finished in a reasonable amount
That'd
of
be
time?
fun.
Yes. A photo finish Equestria Girls doll that showed up on the Canadian Toys R Us site is now available on the US site
Yes.
as well
Yes,
now.
I'm pretty sure it's another exclusive because it's the Pony Mania line.
Yep, Pony Mania. It's her and the rest of the Snapshots band.
Yes.
Yeah. A handful of the Hot Topic exclusive version of the Funko Mini figures have appeared, and they're the normal color versions of Fluttershy, Lyra, and Spitfire.
Yeah.
There's also some glow-in-the-dark ones that we mentioned last week?
Yeah, it's. I don't think it's part of this wave, but
Yeah, we're not sure if it's part of this
I don't think it
particular
is.
wave.
They already
or
showed
if they
it,
are,
but yeah, so only a handful, I think, are actually Hot Topic Who's. And by the way, went to Hot Topic to look.
they're
pre-orders
already
sold out.
Already sold out of pre-orders.
Which, yeah,
That
so
was fast.
maybe it'll come back on, but
Oh, they should. So, anyway, the Nisi or Niki, however you pronounce that, Princess Twilight Sparkle plushie is now available on their site. So if you're over on that side of the pond in
Germany,
Germany,
in particular.
yep, you can go get that.
Please buy it for me. I will pay you.
You would too. An official remix album of MLP tunes is coming out sometime this fall, and that's official, as in Hasbro's remixing and getting into the remix game.
Yes, and some people aren't so hot on it just because apparently their previous attempts at being doing a remix type thing were kind of lame, I would say. And apparently it's actually being called the DJ Pony MLP Remix is going to be the official title. And don't hold your breath for like any fan artists getting onto this at all.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
You have to be signed for a particular label and everything anyway, so fan artists not gonna show up likely.
Yeah. We'll see how it compares to the fan content
Let's
we
see
already
if
have.
it's like gonna re-release anywhere by iTunes.
Speaking about My Little Pony and songs, the second volume of the soundtrack that got released a while back on iTunes.
Yes, April.
Yeah, actually came out on Google Play and Amazon.
Yeah.
A while ago, but apparently all the news sites missed it, and we did too.
Yeah, apparently 2 weeks ago somewhere on there, because according to the review dates, the first review for on Google Play is July 19th.
So yeah, if you want to avoid iTunes, which I do,
yeah,
I avoid it out of principle.
I'm not sure about Amazon, but I know for sure Google Play's is a higher bit rate than the iTunes version.
Yeah, so there you go. You have someplace other than iTunes to get it.
Yes, Google Play and Amazon. Not sure why it took so long and not sure why no one else noticed, but except for like a handful of reviewers at Google Play. But yeah, it's out. You can download it now.
Yep.
They're $9.50 on Google Play and $9 on Amazon.
Yeah, I picked up on Google Play. And moving on. Some info about the comic series came out of a SDCC IDW panel. Didn't come out till Monday, so we missed it last week. But
it was apparently already rumblings of a Sunday night, but we already
recorded
by that point.
It came out after we recorded, so we're a little bit late. But issues 25 and 26 of the series will be focused on Applejack.
Yes.
And it's going to be a Western theme to it. They also did some Q&A stuff. Kids asked some questions like, what's the hardest pony to draw?
So on.
And so forth.
Yeah, and that story apparently is going to be called The Good, the Bad, and the Ponies.
Yes. I love the reference there. A preview for issue 22 is also up on iTunes if you want to go check those out if you're one of those spoiler kind of person.
Yes.
So
preview. And also has a very blatant reference to a certain fan site. Blatant.
Yeah, I've been hearing rumblings about that.
It's
I haven't actually
real.
looked because I avoid them.
It's real.
Yep. In other news, Walmart has updated their listing for the Equestria Girls DVD with a new cover instead of the placeholder they've had up there.
So far, oddly enough, the Blu-ray version still has the same
Blu-ray
placeholder.
version still has the same placeholder, but
makes you wonder they might have a different color. I've seen that some movies do two different covers nowadays.
They'll have a different cover for the Blu-ray version. That one's not up yet.
And apparently, there's actually going to be Walmart exclusive versions. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know what comes with that.
It just says Walmart exclusive, but
same
nothing
price
else.
as the normal version too.
It's probably something like a poster.
Probably. That's what I'm thinking. Another Rainbow Rocks news. 2 new games have shown up on the EQG site, which themselves I've heard are boring, but they reveal a couple new songs.
Oh, they're super boring.
Yeah, but apparently it reveals 2 new songs from the movie.
Yes.
And there's also some character bios too, if you want to get those.
Yeah, so the character bios is they're almost irrelevant because half the time they're wrong because they're Hasbro's marketing team usually, and not the writers of the show or movies. But okay, I play the games. One of them's just a kind of basic competitive timed match game. They have 2 different pieces of the band. Now you got to match with the 2 pieces within the time limit and so on, and it gets a little bit more difficult, but not really. The other one is just you click on these ponies and they ask you questions about what you prefer to do, and then it'll tell you which one's your best friend. It said my best friend is Fluttershy, which is totally wrong.
Totally wrong.
But yeah, the songs. One of them is a song from the Dazzlings. It's another villain song, so that means they have 2 songs. They're villain songs already. We know that now.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one is from the Rain Booms, and it's kind of all right, but the Dazzling song is actually kind of, again, another cheesy, villainous, fun song. So
something to look forward to. The Shout Factory Keys of Friendship DVD is now available. We talked about this a couple weeks ago.
It actually came out last week.
Yep, at the end of SDCC.
Basically, I just forgot it was coming out. If I did, I would say, oh, it's coming out by the time you can hear this.
Yeah.
But yeah, it came out pretty much the day we released. So
Yep.
it's been out. It's most of the key episodes minus like 2 or something.
Yeah.
So
there you go. Also, an almost hour-long recording from the BronyCon show producers panel is up on YouTube. And they talk about some stuff like the process that they go through and all that sort of thing. So if you're interested in that, go
which
check
a lot of
it
you
out.
are.
Yes.
So
a new writer, Nick Confalone.
I hope that's right.
I hope I got that name right. I
That's
probably
what Google
didn't.
told us.
But a new writer has joined the Friendship is Magic team for season 5.
Yes.
So we'll
Everyone
see.
panic. He wrote for Johnny Test.
Yep. Everyone going into a big panic. But no, seriously, let's
hope.
Let's hope it goes good. We'll see what he has for us. And speaking of writers, GM Barrow, who's wrote a bunch of the books,
Mm-hmm. The chapter books.
the bunch of the chapter books, has got to write an episode for season 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she wrote an episode.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Which is interesting because, yeah, from what I understand, I can't confirm this, but from what I understand, she was actually given this story details in the Twilight Sparkle one and I think it was Twilight Sparkle and the Crystal Heart. She was given those details and said, okay, you write a story about this. This is going to be officially considered canon. So basically, yeah, Cadence was a Pegasus and all that stuff. So she's been trusted with canon material before, apparently. So
Yeah.
let's hope she can.
Yeah. She wrote an episode. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah. I wonder what it's going to be about.
Yeah. So that's the news.
Yes.
So
Most of the relevant news, anyway.
yeah, most of the relevant news. So yeah, we scrounged up a conversation, and we were thinking about doing this, but ran out of time when we first did our convention talk.
Yeah, when we were telling you how to, act at a convention, you better listen to us.
Yes, we hope you listen to us. Yeah, we're thinking about doing it, but ran out of time. We're going to talk about just the state of fandom conventions in general, really.
Yeah. It's
About this
interesting.
particular fandom
Yes,
conventions.
this fandom.
Not other ones, well, sort of, but
Those are sort of
we're going to use them as a reference more.
a little
But yeah, pretty much, well, what do you think about it?
Well, to kind of clarify, what we mean is right now, as a lot of people have noticed, there's
Kind of
quite
a lot
a
of them.
few.
Yeah.
To the
that's-
point where, as you also probably will, there is a full-on app for iOS dedicated just to tracking convention stuff.
Yes, which I think that's a great idea. It's awesome, but why do we need that?
Yeah,
It kind of worries me that we actually have so much that we are now requiring apps just to track these things.
Yeah, this is just I think this app does stuff like news, and I think it possibly even shows Twitter stuff, and like I tries to compile as much information as possible. But
From what I've heard, it's a really neat app, but it's
Yeah.
not available for Android just yet.
yeah, and my
haven't used
iPod Touch is too old to.
So I haven't been able to use it
use it.
myself, but I've heard it's pretty cool. But the fact that we have so many that we need to have
Yes.
stuff to track them, that's kind of alarming, really.
Yeah, and yeah, when we say so many, some people are like, it can't be that many. As of this year, up until now, and planned for the rest of the year, there are 43 pony conventions.
Yeah, 43 worldwide, and that's specifically pony conventions, not
Yes.
just general conventions that ponies appear in, like some
pony-centric
These
conventions.
Yeah,
43 of them.
43, and over half of them in the U.S. alone.
Yeah, 23 of them in the U.S.
Yeah,
Just the
that's
U.S.
a lot.
That's insane.
It is. Compare it to some other ones like
Yeah.
Transformers.
Yeah, Transformers. You know how many conventions they have every year worldwide? Or at least this year? 9.
9. Transformers been around for a bit longer
30
than
years.
we have.
Well, the Transformers fandom as it is.
Yeah.
Actually, MLP's older by a year, but
Yeah. 9. We go on to some other really big fandoms,
Star Trek.
like Star Trek.
I looked it up. I can get a solid number. It was difficult to track, but I'm guessing around 8 to 10 Star Trek specific that I could find information on
Yeah.
this year.
8 to 10 for something as big as Star Trek.
Yeah, Star Wars is difficult because I think Star Wars tends to be folded into other sci-fi
Yeah,
conventions.
I was finding like 4 to 5 on Star Wars that were Star Wars specific, but information was getting a little lacking.
On top of that, okay, I'm going to assume most of you are interested in things outside of ponies, and if you're not, well, anyway.
Get outside some more.
Yeah,
There's some pretty cool stuff.
I'm pretty
out
sure
there.
a lot of you are interested in stuff like video games, comics, anime, etc., etc. there's already a ton of conventions for those too.
Most of the time you see them, they're not specific to a single.
Yeah,
fandom.
we've got like Anime Con, Sakura Con, I'm trying to think,
Comic-Con.
Comic-Con, PAX.
Yeah.
All these things they have a specific focus. Well, for the most part, Comic-Con has gone beyond its focus.
But more of a general focus.
But
just an idea.
It's not super focused like we are. And these are still, there's a ton of them. I mean, I'll look at these, there's these sites dedicated to showing you what upcoming cons and stuff. There's tons of cons. I mean, you already have to pick and choose.
Yeah.
But I've never heard of a fandom
that has
getting to the
many.
point of 43 conventions a year.
Yeah, it's insane. I mean, it's cool that we're big enough to have these conventions, but do we really need 43? I don't think so.
And part of the reason is like, well, some people are like, but it's
but I can't go to all the other ones.
And it's a sign that we're so big that we need these, and we don't because some of these, let's be honest, some of these are kind of small. They weren't really intended to be conventions in the first place. They were like
big meetups.
Some of them, yeah, I remember some of these conventions actually started off as just, they were supposed to be meetups, and they got so big, they're like, I think that's how BronyCon really started, was.
Maybe.
It was just a meetup initially, and then it got so massive that they turned it into a full-blown convention.
Yeah, and now it's our biggest.
Huge.
But yeah, I really don't think that we can really sustain this many conventions.
Yeah,
and it causes problems.
We're already having some issues.
Yeah, it is. Some of the things that come up when you have this many conventions, one, you do have to start picking and choosing.
Yeah.
And there's a whole bunch around.
If you're already willing to travel and stuff, you're already starting to...
It's nice to have a whole bunch of them around you, so if you can't go really far, you have one close. But I think the benefits there are so small, it doesn't really... the downsides are a lot worse. One of the big ones, all the conventions would all really like to have show staff, VIP guests and such. But when you have so many, they can't go to all of them. And they start splitting
they
up,
have
and you get like...
do work and stuff, and they want time off, and they don't want to spend every weekend flying around the country.
They can't go to all of these conventions all of the time.
Yeah.
And it makes it hard for them to, which ones are they going to go to if they're going to go to them. And it can overwhelm the staff, too. Just having
the inbox full of just requests to come to our convention.
Yeah, it's kind of tough for them.
Yeah, so it's already right there. It's like this weekend, we just had BronyCon's over. Galacon just ended, too, because they're both on the same weekend.
BronyCon and Galacon, same time.
I mean, those are two continents, so it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, it does, a little bit.
Because you're not going to get there's not a ton of people who are going to go across the ocean to get to, so...
But, yeah, and then, like, when we went to Everfree, we had the Crystal Fair up in Finland going on at the same time.
Those are separated by a whole continent in an ocean.
Yeah, so they kind of work together running side by side, but we have 23 conventions just in the U.S.
Yes.
How many of those are going to start overlapping? That's 2 a month. Over 2 a month.
Yeah.
Just in the U.S.
Yeah. So, part of the thing is, part of it is that, it's overwhelming that we remember on our last convention talk, we talked about, like, it was going to cost you easily, like, $1,000 to go to a single convention.
Yeah, if you're flying in.
And assuming that you probably would fly to another one, because, well, the likelihood of 2 conventions being within short distance of you is kind of crazy.
Even with having so many of them.
That's $multi-$1,000s, and that's, some of these, and this, you got show guests, you also talk about, like, community guests.
Yeah.
I mean, you either have to compensate them.
Yeah, if you're compensating them, it gets really expensive.
You just kind of hope they can afford to come, because let's be honest, a lot of us aren't exactly swimming in money.
Yeah.
Except for some reason, there's always a guy that's come out of the woodwork is able to drop $15,000 or something on one item at an auction or something.
Yeah.
This always happens.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Somehow. But it's cool when that happens.
Yeah.
But not everyone's like that. Not everyone has large pools of money to just travel. So it gets really expensive to start, paying for them to come out all over the place.
Yeah, I'm seeing, like, right now, I'm looking at this. On the same weekend, there is a convention in Edinburgh, Scotland, and Leicestershire in the UK. This is pretty much
right next to
the same area.
Yeah.
Same general area on the same weekend. Why? I'm just looking at this. This is the convention spreadsheet. This is the same people who did the PonyCon app. They decided, okay, spreadsheet's getting a little unwieldy. We're going to have a way to do it mobile, and they did. Except for if you don't have an iOS device, well then tough luck.
They said they're working on the Android ones, but we'll see when that comes out. I mean,
And I'm pretty sure there are actually a few conventions which are not listed on here, or attempts at conventions, and we've already had a couple failures.
yeah.
Part of it is just, you cannot get this many people out to these conventions when you have so much competition.
I mean, let's look at just this month.
Yeah, just
What do we have just this month? We
August.
just had BronyCon finish.
Yeah.
We had another one that was happening apparently the same time up over in Russia.
Yeah.
The CibRonyCon. We had GalaCon running.
Mm-hmm.
We've got
Crystal
Mountain PonyCon, which is happening in Utah
Mm-hmm.
in a couple days. Then we've got Grand Brony Gala, which I've heard a lot about, coming up. Then we've got 3 different conventions all taking place at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
The Atlantic Equestria in Nova Scotia, Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Brony Can in Richmond, BC, Canada. And Buck over in UK. 2 in Canada and then 1 over on the other side of the... And then shortly after that, we have one in Czech Republic.
Yeah, Czechquestria.
Which is interesting.
Czechquestria. But yeah, I mean, that's what? That is 9 in this 1 month?
Yeah.
9! In 1 month
All
we
the
have just...
Transformers conventions in 1 month, pretty much right there. That's getting insane. I don't think we can sustain this.
Yeah. This is... eventually, we already have, we've reported this a couple weeks. Buck is already confirmed. They're not going another year.
Yeah,
it's
they
not
don't have
because of
any
other
plans for
conventions,
next
though,
year.
but this is just because...
It's expensive.
Especially in the UK.
Yeah. It's expensive to run
And
this.
there's how many other UK conventions? We're at the point of maybe you guys should combine your forces.
Yeah, that's one thing I want to talk about. So what do we do? I mean, we all want to have all this stuff.
Yeah.
All these conventions and all these things, but we have too many. So what should we do instead?
Honestly, that's the part of the problem is
it's
you're going to have power struggles because some people are just not want to give up and
Uh-huh.
they don't want or share power with someone else. And I mean, right now in the Northwest there's only literally one, and that is Everfree.
Yeah, Everfree Northwest up here.
Well,
the Northwest.
Northwest.
You go down a
US.
little bit, and you'll hit a few of them down in California.
Yeah,
We had
Bay Area.
the BabsCon.
BabsCon.
We had LA Equestria.
Yeah, we had
Had.
Equestria LA.
Equestria, thank you.
Yeah, we had it. They
I don't
shut
know if
down
they're
because
coming
of
back.
I think money issues.
Yeah.
Yeah, they already confirmed they're not coming back.
But BabsCon, I expect to see again because apparently that one was really, really good.
Yeah, that was.
We have BronyCon over on the East Coast.
Mm-hmm.
But really, we don't need 23.
23 in the U.S.
Maybe a couple big regional ones. If we can combine them,
yeah,
that'd be great.
You don't. I mean, it's actually. I understand. Some people, it's I want to be able to. It's difficult for me to fly because it's cost or whatever. And it's I understand that, but.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'd love to head out to East Coast for something like that, or head down to BabsCon.
But
That's expensive to fly to
I'd love to
California.
go to BabsCon. I want to go to BabsCon next year, but
Yeah,
that's expensive.
it's expensive.
It's always expensive. Remember, conventions are a luxury, and it's nice. And not only that, this fandom has an oddity in that so many of these conventions have live streaming. This
Yes.
is almost unheard of outside of this fandom.
Yeah,
don't-
what other conventions have this sort of live streaming thing?
I mean, a lot of conventions, sure, there's always someone who records panels or something. Someone somewhere is recording something almost always.
Yeah.
But I've never heard of a fandom.
GalaCon, didn't we have 4K live streaming?
Yeah. Ponyville Live did 4K live
Was
stream.
doing 4K live streaming.
I don't think it was 4K live streaming. I think it was 4K
4K recording, but
they did live streaming, and even the only reason there was a music concert or something.
I
They
think they had
had
some
to apologize.
technical
They couldn't
issues.
do it because
Yeah.
of weather issues.
weather and causing
Just-
technical issues. But yeah,
But they still were able to record
I
it,
have never heard of other major conventions running live streams for everyone.
or have some organization. It's usually
We've
that's
had
the convention.
conventions live streaming to each other, which
Yeah.
is a really cool idea. I think we should expand on. We can reduce convention count. If they're running at the same time, we can stream together and kind of combine them sort of like that across distance.
but
I think that would be really neat.
It's also strange,
But-
BronyCon's the big one, and GalaCon. It's that means GalaCon had to fight. I mean, you're already fighting for just because you're in Europe.
Yeah.
Now you're fighting because you're fighting against BronyCon, which is the big one.
Yeah,
The big one. GalaCon's already made a bit name for itself just because it's the premier European one, really.
it is. Yes. So yeah, you're fighting for shows.
So they somehow got M.A. Larson and Rebecca Schleckett and so on and so on.
Yeah. Plus, you get all the European
The
voice
European
actors
voice
too.
actors, but still, they managed to get these people live in America. They managed to get them to come over to Germany rather than
Yeah.
just going to Baltimore.
So, yeah, you really start running into fighting for
Yeah,
for VIPs,
you're
really, at
fighting
this point.
You're
So-
fighting for them just because they're busy, and plus you're running at the same. If you're running at the same time as someone else and they're bigger, you're going to have a much more difficult time unless you just happen to get there first to them first.
Yes. So,
And then of course this also, when you think about this, by having so many, this splits the user base to the point where you either have to scale way back and disappoint
yes,
people,
you're gonna.
or you pull a Lost Pegasus Unicorn style
Please
meltdown.
don't do that. Please don't do
Which
that.
of course
again.
scares people because like now we got Tara Strong who barely ever shows up to pony conventions now. If you've noticed,
Yes.
she went to Unicon, and then I think the next one she showed up to was BabsCon, I think.
Yeah,
I
which
can't
I've
remember.
heard, which apparently everyone loved, which is a
Yeah.
great thing.
But the thing is, yeah, we're gonna risk. Eventually, this is a bubble that is going to pop,
Eventually, we're not going to be able to sustain all this many.
and I think. I mean, some of these conventions are already small. I'm looking at. I mean, it's not complete, but some of these attending numbers are like down 100 in the hundreds, and then you got the occasional blip like BabsCon 2,350 or My Little Pony Fair 1,200, which is, I believe that is actually the official one.
That is actually an official one that's
Yeah,
been
but
running
still
for all
1,200.
generations.
You got a couple of thousand, but a lot of these are like.
MLP MSP was apparently
Some of
pretty
these is like it makes
successful,
sense. Japan, it's already that's kind of it's already a small area. Plus, it's kind of already just started.
Yeah.
162, or is another one? I think there's another one somewhere on here. But yeah, it's just like that's a smaller
Canterlot
number.
University in Singapore.
Yeah,
That was only a single day.
yeah,
convention.
that's 154 on a single day.
154.
So that's
That's-
Singapore too. Changes things a little bit, but like. I think a lot of these people. I think part of it is just some people are like, I can do a convention, and then they jump in and they're like,
It's take it from some people who've done it before. They've talked about it.
it's a
Like, you
big,
go talk to
expensive
stuff that-
undertaking.
Like Bajati or Royal Code have talked about their experiences with Everfree Northwest. It's not something you can just do lightly.
You have to-
It takes a lot of work. So when you get a ton of people just, I'm going to do a convention. I'm going to do a convention. You get a lot of mediocre conventions.
And I've heard of some canceling. It's like they're announced and they're canceled very
Yeah.
quickly. And then you get one that it's obviously it's already in trouble. Like I know this makes me when I talked about it, I was kind of a little leery about doing so. But the DerpyCon South last week, they're trying to fill up their hotel block, and that feels to me, it's not necessarily sketchy, but like they're already in financial trouble. That's what it felt. That's reading
like
between
they
the
didn't have
lines.
enough people to fill what they expected to have.
Because you're
So,
competing
that's
against
like-
everyone else.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. As much as we'd love to just be super friendly and nice, and you're still competing. You can't get everyone. And a lot of people want to go to BronyCon because that's the big one, but not everyone can.
Yeah.
And it's also big enough that it can kind of unintentionally smother other conventions.
Yep, because everyone wants to go to the big one.
Yeah.
Because that's where everyone is.
Oh.
So kind of everyone else kind of suffers and kind of falls out.
So
It's-
I honestly don't know. I know a lot of this will die off anyway when the show's over, but still, I'm thinking like next year. I'm hoping that there needs to be a cull.
yeah,
And
it would be much better for people to just shut down and kind of stop doing conventions rather than to have them implode.
yes,
Just stop them before it becomes a problem.
I think.
'Cause
Although
if
I was
it starts
talking to
imploding,
someone,
it's going to get really, really
I was talking
ugly.
to someone. He made this argument of, well, the thing is, the reason so many conventions is because fandom's super huge now and super popular. And it's like it's huge, but
There's other.
and he's talking about how it's so on fire. Like people here are more passionate in this fandom. And it's like
we do have
not-
a fair amount of
yeah, there's
fashion, yes,
passionate
but
people,
that's
but
really-
I've been in other fandoms. I would wholly disagree with you by saying the Transformers fandom's less passionate than My Little Pony fandom.
And Trekkies, Star Trek
Trekkie-
fandom. How
yeah.
are they not passionate about that? And look how long they've been running. How many conventions?
9
9 to
ish,
10-ish.
somewhere in that neighborhood. Again, like I said, I had a hard time.
A fourth of what we have.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Is like he was. I was like, you obviously have zero interaction with the Transformers fandom. You think they're less passionate than the Pony fandom.
Yeah, ruined forever. Who
I
made
mean,
that
it's
phrase?
of course he kind of made a kind of valid point of that with the Pony thing. You kind of already have to. You're fighting a social stigma that's been in place
Yes.
for years.
But do we
already.
really need?
And if you're getting to the point where you're going to a convention, then but still,
Do we need that many conventions to do that?
yeah.
I don't think
some
so.
of these. I think some of these actually wind up being in this, pretty much the same general area.
And that's
It's not
another
out
thing
at
to
the
worry
same
about. When
city.
you have all in the same area, it's like, okay, now you're really stepping on each other's toes.
Yeah, I'm trying to look at this. I just could have sworn there's some in the exact same like city even. I'm looking for it, and I could have sworn.
Well, there's some close to each other.
Yeah.
Like the ones we just had, Fiesta Equestria. Well, no, that's with the official one. You can't really do anything
Yeah, we
about
got several
that.
in Texas already. Of course, Texas is a big place, so that's kind of difficult. Of course, we also had, like, I think there was a convention that kind of rebranded themselves real quick because they realized just doing ponies was
Not gonna get them enough people.
yeah, so they rebranded and expanded from there. And then we had, like, I remember Candlelight Gardens try to expand itself so that it could expand beyond pony stuff eventually, and now it's dead.
Yeah, but it would be much better for things to just shut down and stop doing conventions rather than
Or
have them be
merge.
forced or merge together. Like especially if you're in the same city or regional, if even the same state really, if it's a medium to small size state,
Yeah.
you just merge together and become one bigger convention. You have a much better chance of not stepping on people's toes and succeeding. But if you try and force through this and this bubble that we're talking about bursts and all these implode, things are gonna get ugly.
Yeah.
If that happens, it's gonna look really, really, really bad.
Yeah. So it's just kind of worry. Maybe this won't happen. Maybe the bubble won't get to the point of bursting before the whole show dies anyway.
Yeah, that's
But as it stands, it's kind of already alarming that we've already had, let's see how many, 19,
it's like 18 conventions.
22.
Yeah,
There have been 22 conventions
22
already.
conventions already in this year. That's just insane.
So it's just crazy.
It is. I think it's crazy.
And then we already got politics going on between them. We've seen it. I
wow.
don't. We don't like to talk about it, but it does happen. We've seen the inter-convention politics
Yep.
happening. Just so on. So he said, she said, so on, so on. This guy did this, that guy did this, so on. We can't, and a lot of it's word of mouth, backroom backstabs, and all sorts of weirdness. Just
Yeah.
that's become a thing. So now we got unintentional competition. Now we got very much intentional competition going on as well. Even if it's kind of all sunshine and rainbows in the forefront, the background.
Fortunately and unfortunately, in some cases, that tends to usually affect the big ones.
Yeah.
Not
Sometimes
as much
it does
the
get
little
the small ones, though.
but it does affect
Like,
the little ones
I'm-
every now and then.
I heard allegations. I can't confirm any of them that like Candlelight Gardens was trying to shut down everyone around them. Like they're trying to actively sabotage some of the other conventions in their general area and stop other conventions. Not but cripple other conventions, I should say.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I was hearing that rumor too. But yeah,
it's like it's cool, it's fun, but
it's
again,
like I said earlier, I think it's awesome that we can do this. That we have I don't want to say ravenous, but we have an enthusiastic enough fan base to have the conventions. But I think it's getting too far.
I think at this point, I don't think we should contract to the point of like say the Star Trek or
No.
they're like Star Trek. They haven't had a show on the air in a while, and they've only recently had the J.J. Abrams movies. But
Yeah.
we're not going to contract that far. I don't think we should contract that
No.
far. We have currently
We're-
are an active show. Like,
So we can support more, but not to 40.
yeah, I think like maybe the U.S. by itself should probably have like maybe 7 or 8 somewhere in the neighborhood of that.
Yeah, 7 or 8 just regional areas, northwest,
Max
southwest.
10.
Yeah.
And
Like,
then
you
of
could
course
probably
you
do
got
6.
Europe and so on. I mean, Australia's not going to be big enough to support more than 2. I don't think really.
Yeah.
I don't even think there is. I think there's literally only one Australian convention anyway, so they're fine.
Yeah.
Yes, and
But-
Canada has a bunch. So Canada, I mean, it's one of those that's right next to the U.S., but again, international is always a
International.
pain.
I mean, right now U.S.-Canada relations are pretty good.
But still,
So crossing
international
between
travel
them
can still be a
is-
pain.
Yeah. It's not as bad as crossing the Atlantic to go to some of the European ones or something like that, but
Yeah.
it can still be difficult.
Yeah, so
Yeah, 8, somewhere between 6 to 10 for the U.S. would probably be a pretty good number.
Europe probably can support 3 or 4.
Yeah, Galacon's a pretty major one.
Yeah, Buck was,
but apparently they don't
Money.
have plans due
Yeah.
to financial stuff.
It's unlikely. They say
So Canada can do probably 2 or 3, I would say, would work. Just across west to east, have a couple.
well, Asia, just as it stands, just because what things are, you really can't get away with too much anyway. You're probably going to have like 3 across all of Asia. One in Russia, one in Japan, and one, I don't know.
Galacon. Well, then you have, I don't know
Yeah,
enough about how things work on that side really.
maybe one in China. But
maybe
then again,
if you
China,
could,
the way it is, there might
yeah,
have a
we don't know about
convention we
how
don't even know
China would
about.
work.
Yeah, so I guess not really. I don't think this is going to last as it stands. I don't know what's going to happen in 2015. None of
Yeah.
us do. I mean, it really, honestly, I think part of it just really depends on how well a lot of these conventions go. But as it stands, we're already competing for show guests, and it already feels like a lot of stuff is already contracted compared to like last year, even like
Mm-hmm.
where like a whole bunch of these guys were like, we got all these guests, and now it's like we're down to okay, we were lucky to get 4.
Yeah, it's like compare the last Everfree we just went to not too long
Yeah,
ago to the year before that. The year before that had a fair amount of, or the first year of Everfree
yeah, they were able to get Tara
ton
Strong
of
and Tabitha St. Germain and Nicole Oliver and
yeah, there was a
Andrea Libman, Kathy
ton
Westluck.
of show staff, and it's been kind of reduced. And I think partially that's because there's a whole bunch of conventions.
Yeah, you're competing now. It
they're,
didn't help
they're
that they went to July, also 4th of July weekend.
and
But
also Fourth of July weekend. That's another thing. We have so many. It's kind of hard not to step on each other's toes by timing.
yeah, I mean, I'm already looking at list of 2015 announced. Let's see, there are 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 already announced for 2015, according to this list.
Yeah,
13 already.
13 for next year.
And I think one of these is actually already, some of these are already new. Like, I never heard of them before now. So,
Brony Days in France, EUM in Switzerland.
yeah, some of these are like brand new things. So it's like, oh dear. And BronyCon has already confirmed they're doing a 2016 con.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's just. I think we're starting to just get too big for for what we can support.
yeah.
I don't know if we don't start doing something, it could turn ugly.
We're gonna start. I'm starting to think pretty soon we're gonna start to see conventions saying we don't have the money to do it again, or we didn't have the attendance we thought we were, so we can't do it again. Yeah,
Yeah.
so on. So we're already seeing that. I mean, Buck would have to be a massive, massive success for it to be able to do another con. They
Yes.
just have to get the numbers. They're just not pulling. I mean, there's already one of those. They're like one of the first UK conventions. I think they were the first.
I think
UK
they
convention.
were the
And they're
first.
still having trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know this kind of is a bit of a downer conversation.
It is kind of a bit of a downer, but I think it's something that needs to be discussed. I think it's something we need to talk about. These conventions.
The problem is also there's no real easy answer without someone getting upset.
yes,
someone's gonna get upset, period.
because someone's convention's not gonna.
It's
The
like,
convention
now,
they wanted to go to
great, this
couldn't have
convention
to.
shut down. Now
Now you got nothing. Yeah,
I can't go now because the nearest one is too far away, or we're gonna get the political backroom stuff. Is just like I don't want to give up my power or something,
Yeah,
and so on and so on.
Yeah, it kind of sucks, but it's a conversation that needs to be had.
And,
It's not something you can just kind of just ignore and hope it goes away. I mean,
yeah, well, we'll go away.
it will go away, but the question is,
How
will it go away in the way you want it to? It may not go away
if we're
quietly.
going to get to the point where it's like going to be like maybe 3 conventions a year or something, that's only for the really super hardcore guys. They're going to be real small, and yeah.
Yeah.
Unless somehow they continue this show, or not continue, but continue kind of this general world that they've built in the current Pony MLP and continue it on. Who knows?
Who knows? Who knows what the future holds? But we're not going to be able to sustain this, not for much longer.
Yeah, I don't think it will either. It's just not going to work out.
Yeah. So I think that's about all we can talk about conventions.
All rambling.
Yes, ramble on about not so nice things about conventions. You had a good side, now the dark side of it.
Yeah.
So, moving on to something a little bit lighter. We have fan content.
Oh.
Yes. So, I guess I will start out this one, because music, I do that. So, the first one I've got, it's called Dank Magic by Violet Pony. Yeah, the name's a little bit funny on that one. It started out as Dark Magic, and yeah, he changed it. I think it was. I think it was pretty fun. It's an instrumental, so it's questionably pony. It's electronic. It's got this nice heavy driving beat. It's something to just kind of put on and bob your head to. I think. What did you think about it?
I thought it started off strong, but then the middle kind of dragged a bit, and then it started picking up again, but then it ended. So it's like the middle is just like really kind of drags and doesn't feel like it. The middle isn't as good to listen to as like the beginning of the song. So
yeah, I guess I'll give you that
that's
one.
how I feel about it. Just the middle kind of feels like it drags on a little bit. And
it gets a bit wubby, a bit more wubby with that.
I don't think it's really that's its problem. I think it just kind of feels just, at the point it just kind of feels
That's
in the
wonderfully
middle.
descriptive.
Yeah, just
right.
It's like it's there. It's just there in the middle. So the beginning's good, ending's good, middle, weak.
Not quite as good.
Yeah, the middle's weak.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. So the next one I have is another electronic instrumental one. This one's Flight Rush is Empty Arenas. This one's not quite as driving. It's better as a background song, but a little bit more active than most background music. It's nice, smooth electronic, with a little bit heavy, but fairly easy to listen to, I think. What'd you think about it?
It was all right. The thing was, my general feeling towards it was it feels like it's building up towards something, and that climax never actually comes. It just kind of feels like it kind of is building and building and building, and then it just stops. It's like, well, now what?
All right.
It feels like it's an introduction to some other piece or something that doesn't actually show up.
I guess I can see that. Yeah.
Almost like the first song of an album or something, and it just kind of builds up and then nothing happens. You're like, stumbles. I don't know.
So it had pretty good potential then, right?
Yeah, I guess. But yeah, it builds, but then it builds and builds and builds and builds and. So that's what it felt like to me.
Okay, I'll give that one to you. The last one I had is something completely different.
Yes.
This one's by Replacer and Megabyte Brony. It's called Finding My Way Back Home.
All I really need is just a little bit more time to find my way back home to the one I love, my sunshine. Maybe all I really need is just a little bit more time to find my way back home to the one I love, to the one I love, my
It's a nice 60-ish soft rock.
Yeah.
It's one by Replacer, which we haven't seen in a long time, actually. He used to have a fair amount more than he did in the earlier days of the fandom. And like always, his voice is like, I don't know, liquid gold, I've heard it described. It's just, he can hit notes that are just, you wouldn't expect him to hit, and yet still has a smooth voice to it. It just works for this kind of music. I thought it was really, really well done.
Yeah. Yeah, I was the one who kind of told him that, it's 60s rock, soft rock.
60s soft rock.
Yeah, like I was listening to it, it kind of feels like a Beatles song or just a general 60s-ish soft rock. And then in the middle, there's a bit of like 70s sounded rock, kind of reminded me of like Leonard Skinner. So
Yeah.
it kind of reminded me, I was like, oh, this kind of reminds me a little actually of Freebird. And specifically right here, this bit in the middle. I think you probably know the bit I'm talking about.
I think so, yeah.
This guitar kicks in.
Yeah.
And yeah, it feels a bit like, so it makes like soft rock and southern rock kind of mixed together. And I actually kind of liked it overall. I actually pretty much liked it. I mean, like the vocals were actually pretty good too. And the only thing that really kind of weirds me out is just the singer's basically singing about.
He's singing.
He's shipping himself with flutter size.
Yes.
it's like
It's a bit
Okay.
weird there, but he does it pretty well.
Yeah, it's a really good song. It's just kind of weird. Just I don't pretend he's someone else for your OTP or whatever. I don't pretend it's Dasher I'm singing.
Yeah, it doesn't really work with the rest of the lyrics, but okay.
No,
Any
it's
excuse.
fine.
Any excuse we'll use. Yeah, that's the music I've got.
Yeah.
So I will pass it off to you for your fanfic.
Yeah, I have a fanfic, and I was able to actually find this one pretty early, which surprised me. It's like I saw, it, I was like, "That's it. That's the fic this week." And then something really amazing comes along, and well, nothing really amazing came along. So anyway, this one is called "Stealing the Deed," and it's by Justice4243. And it's about Trixie, which, well, she decides to follow the example of comic books and stuff, and, well, she steals the deed to the Golden Lux Library, thinking that automatically makes it hers.
If you hold the deed, you own the deed, right?
Right. Possession is 9/10 of the law.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, well, Twilight tries to explain to her this is not the case, and things kind of devolve from there. It's hard to explain it without going straight into spoilers, but basically it kind of takes place over the course, I guess, of season 4, sort of.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of funny, just... Basically, Trixie's an insane stalker.
That's putting it lightly.
It's just funny reading this and seeing everything play out. But yeah, there's a few errors throughout here and there. It's
Got a couple
not
spelling errors.
horrible or anything. It's like oh whoops, that's right there. It's one of those that's more noticeable just because it's so rare.
Yeah.
Throughout. So I really enjoyed reading it. So I'm just curious, what did you think of it when you read it?
I thought it was all right. I thought it was all right. It wasn't. It was pretty good. It was enjoyable. If I were to rate it on like a 1 to 10, I'd probably give it a 7.
All right, 7 out of 10 is okay.
7 out of 10 is all right.
In the gaming industry, 7 out of 10 means it's terrible. What are you trying to say?
I'm not IGN.
But
7 out of 10, it's okay.
yeah, it's just kind of it's just weird, just kind of Trixie. Just
It is.
it's a weird, just like I said, stalker crush Trixie. Just
Yeah.
yeah, she's insane.
She's completely and totally
It's just
nuts.
watching her, just her trying to get
As
her
it's
way.
slowly revealed more and more just how insane she
Yeah, it
really
gets
has.
really weird
yeah.
at the end, but it's funny weird.
Yeah. It's enjoyable. I'd recommend go and read it.
Read it. It's goofy. I'm surprised, like, maybe it's because of how they portray Trixie, but I was surprised I did not see it on EQD. So
Yeah.
maybe it's just because the way they portray Trixie as a stalker.
Maybe Seth
Insane
vetoed it.
Seth Lerone wrote it. Oh, God.
uh,
I don't know. But, yeah, it was fun.
yeah, I thought it was
read it.
pretty fun. So yeah, that's what we've got for you today. That brings us to the end of this episode. Unless you have anything else you want to ramble about.
No, I'm good.
No, you good? Alright. I think I'm good too. I rambled on enough.
Oh, wait. One ramble. Gravity Falls is awesome. Go watch the second season. It's on now.
Oh yeah, apparently that's started. This is a pony convention, not a convention.
Convention,
This is
huh?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Convention.
Pony 401 convention. Here we go.
Oh boy.
We have a ball pit.
Okay. No, we don't. But I'm pretty sure we can find.
We have a
some
bee
of it.
pit.
Oh god. We'll go to find some crabs too to add to that. Ugh. But yeah. Anyway.
Anyway, Gravity Falls is good. Go watch that too. If you haven't already, you probably should. You probably are, but yeah, watch that. It's
I
good.
haven't.
You
I
will
probably
be.
should. I probably will be. He'll probably force me to.
Mm-hmm.
This will be interesting. Anyway, if you liked what you heard, I hope you did. You can find all the rest of our episodes at pony411.libsyn.com. You can download them all there. You can also find us on iTunes. You can subscribe to us and auto-download or whatnot. Just search for Pony411. You'll find us. We're also up on YouTube if you just want to listen to us there. YouTube.com/Pony411. We also air on Ponyville FM every Tuesday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. So tune in. If you want to contact us and send us comments, questions, fan mail, whatever, you can get hold of us at pony411podcast@gmail.com. You can also find us on Twitter. We're at pony411. And we're also on facebook.com. That's facebook.com/pony411. Go like us or whatever on there.
Fun stuff.
Yep. You can also find us on Twitter individually. I'm at Alca7raz _ with a 7 instead of a T, and he's at Nemesis Prime 1.
Watch me complain about Transformers.
Yes, stickers are bad apparently.
Yes, they're
I've
bad.
learned this.
Shame on you Transformers fans for liking those. Shame.
It's kind of funny. But yeah, that was our episode. I hope you liked it. I hope you tune in later. And until next time, please play responsibly. Good night, everyone.